I grew up in Old Forge. I grew up on Mary Street, and then we moved to Clark Street, which was a sort of a newer development in Old Forge. And I spent most of my growing up years in the Clark Street home. My dad is a teacher, and he spent many years at West Scranton High School teaching, and then graduated to the administration building, as he calls it, and became what's called a home and school visitor. His role was to help families that were struggling to have their children participate actively in school. My mom was a nurse, but that was before I was born. She worked in Philadelphia. She was a registered nurse, and then when I was born, she stayed home to raise me. And then when I was about 12 or 13 years old, she went back to work, worked at the Head Start on Taylor Hill in Taylor, Pennsylvania. But they're great people, and they gave me fabulous role models to lead my life. I worked at a gas station called Cap's Gas Station. It's on the corner of Drake's Lane and Main Street in Old Forge. Working at the gas station for me was something I really, truly enjoyed. I learned light mechanic work. I was around cars all the time. If you had asked me when I was 16 years old what I was going to be when I grew up, I would tell you a mechanic. That's truly what my aspiration was. My material aspiration was to be able to make enough money to afford payments for a new Pontiac Trans Am with T-tops.
It was a movie date, 1985.
I was in college.
And I was a senior, just started my senior year. He was a freshman at the university. We had mutual friends because we were both from Old Forge. We both grew up here.
I was pretty impressed with myself because she was very, very pretty and really smart and so much fun to be around.
We started a date and it just progressed from there.
Oh, I knew early. I think I knew, jeepers, the second date, third date. But the question was, how do you say that stuff?
When I graduated from high school, he gave me a ring. And my grandmother at the time said that I was going to marry him. But it wasn't an engagement ring. It was a diamond ring, but it was a graduation gift.
But I worked through it and figured it out how to express that and not have her run screaming to the hills.
I jokingly said, oh, Graham, it's only been a year. Not even a year. So she knew more than I did. And I think one of the big things were we both had part-time jobs. I worked at Phase Drug, and I had to work a lot of holidays. So he made sure I was always taken care of. He would bring me food if I had to work. He just always made me felt taken care of, like he was concerned.
You don't want someone that's going to try to make you into something you're not. You want somebody who's authentic, somebody who's real. And that's who she is. She's real. My absolute best friend on this earth, my biggest cheerleader, and really the person that when you look at life, without her, there really isn't much life left. We've gone through her high school graduation, my college graduation, law school, buying a piece of property, building a house, having Katie, raising Katie, and all the stuff in between.
It was the natural progression. I always wanted to be a mother. I really did. And she's just amazing. She's just such an interesting combination of us both, good and bad.
As everyone who's ever experienced that, the birth of a child, it's fraught with joy, uncertainty, the hope that you can give them a better life and more opportunity than you had. And just like everything else, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to play itself out. You don't know what life is going to throw at you, at your family, at your child or your children. And I can say this, after 19 years, she's pretty amazing.
I'm Katie Talerico, and I am Gene's daughter. Growing up was fun. It was interesting. My dad kept it pretty interesting. I was always the kid who had the cool parents. My mom is awesome. My mom is me.
She was very well aware of what he did for a living at a very young age. She would have friends over for a sleepover when she was 6 or 7 years old, and her friends knew what he did for a living. And when he would have to leave, if he got called out, they would finally understood a little bit more of what he was about. And as they all grew up, they all learned it year after year, and they were just amazed that he would be willing to do that.
Well, the best thing about having a kid, the best thing about having a daughter is when she looks just like you.
he draws you in, and like that's all it's been my entire childhood, is him drawing me in and making me laugh and making me feel like I could just do anything that I want to do.
She's got an amazing wit. She's got an ability to make a point second to none. She's incredibly bright, incredibly intelligent, and very driven, and clearly knows what she wants in life.
I didn't want to make up things and say it's fine, the world's perfect, because when she grew up, she'd find out eventually. You know, we made a conscious effort when she was very young to talk to her about everything. She was a very well-educated young lady.
If I had different parents but had like sort of the same occupation, I don't think I would be the same, because my dad's personality is one of a kind, and I truly think the reason why I am the way I am is because I can take things with a sense of humor, but I'm able to focus in and understand that what needs to be done needs to be done, it needs to be done right, and it needs to be done now. And with my mom, she definitely instilled in me that things need to be done with kindness and with a sense of respect, and everyone deserves a sort of dignity. So I think with the two of those things combined, I am the way I am today because of them.
There's tremendous pride in knowing that your child understands life and understands the ups and downs of life, because those are the things that you can't learn in a school book. Those are the things that are inherently from how you were raised and what your parents instill in you.
She knows that she could talk to us about anything. She's a college sophomore, and I don't know where the time went. And she knows that if she's able to, she could help people, and it'll make a difference. And she learned that at a young age, too, from Marley's mission.
Our hope, my hope and Laura's hope, has been from the day she came into this world, is that she would be a person who was here on this earth that would care about other people, and other people would matter to her, and she would be attentive to what's happening around her and be someone that can make a difference.
I can't think of anybody better than my father to defend and fight for, truly and honestly, the people of Lackawanna County. Having a conversation with him is way different than having a conversation with any other prosecutor, because you don't see a prosecutor. You see a person who's dedicated to his job, and I can tell you from experience that he doesn't sleep when there's a case, and he won't neglect something because he doesn't think he has the time to do it or he doesn't think it's useful. If he thinks it's even minutely useful at some point throughout the case, he will do it. He will put in every ounce of what he thinks he can into something in order to make a statement, even if no one's done it before and people say he can't do it and he thinks it's gonna help, he's gonna do it. It doesn't matter. He wants the ability to help people in the way a district attorney can.